If your life looks stable, but your body feels like it's bracing all the time, this might be identity fatigue. You may not even look overwhelmed from the outside because you're getting things done. You're answering the messages, you're showing up, you're handling work, you're checking on people, and you're keeping track of what needs to happen next. So no one looks at you and thinks, she's at capacity, because you've learned how to make capacity look calm. You're relied on, you're respected, you're undeniably capable, and yet there is a quiet tension between who you have learned to be and who you actually are. And that's what makes this version of identity fatigue so hard to name. You're not falling apart, you're not in crisis. You may not even have that one big thing you can point to and say, this is the problem. It's more like your life has too many tabs open in the background. A text you need to return, a decision you need to make, a conversation you're avoiding, a responsibility you're tracking. None of it feels dramatic on its own, but together, it starts to take up space inside you. And because you're still functioning, you may even question whether you're even allowed to call it overwhelm. You tell yourself, well, other people have it worse, or I just need to get organized. But this is not always about time management. This right here is about emotional load. You're carrying more awareness, more responsibility, and internal pressure, more than what people can see. So the remembering, the anticipating, the tracking, the emotional managing, the constant awareness of what might fall apart if you stop paying attention. That's the kind of labor that's invisible. So the exhaustion becomes invisible too. It might show up for you in a way where small questions feel heavier, noise bothers you more than it used to, and you crave silence but feel restless when you finally get it. That's a hard way to live, because eventually your inner life gets buried under maintenance. You stop asking, what do I want? And you start asking, what has to be handled? And that shift matters. It matters because you weren't created to manage life until you disappear inside it. If this is you, the goal isn't to overhaul everything overnight. It begins with telling the truth about the load. Not just the invisible load, but the mental load, the emotional load, the pressure of being aware of everything all the time. Just because you can carry it quietly does not mean it is light. And just because no one sees the weight doesn't mean that your body isn't telling the truth. You don't have to wait until you break to admit that this is too much. You are allowed to need room and take up space before you are in crisis. And sometimes the most honest first step is simply this: I cannot keep pretending this isn't heavy.